The following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a little cool MC, you can't test me, big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC. Always love the clothes of Jimmy, British punk, yo, wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity. We'll take you out to Jimmy Star's, he'll trust.
Hey ho ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We hope everybody is in a good place today. We're going to have a super fun show, you guys. And before we get started and tell you about it and say hi to everybody in the chat room, let's say hi to our cool, outrageous man about town, Mr. Ron Russell.
I can't find my shaver. I didn't shave. Look, I look like a walrus or like Father Time. Beards age you. I don't give a crap what you say. Look how old I look with this beard. All white. I mean, it's horrible. So
you look great.
No, my personality changes.
Yeah, right.
Now I feel like, Father Time. Old, sophisticated, quiet, demure.
Oh, yes, demure. You look handsome.
I don't.
So what's up, everybody?
I looked good when I was young and I had a black beard. But
they say
the
you
white
look fine.
Beard, no, the white beard looks like Santa Claus. Get out of here. Beards for all those jerky guys out there with beards. Everybody's got a beard. I know you have a beard. Everybody has a beard. It's so played out. Every guy I look at has a beard. I mean, come on, guys.
They say we look gorgeous.
Yeah, right.
And I like my beard.
But yeah, well, I like your beard too because I don't care if you look old. You're supposed to look old.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to look young.
I love it. Anyway, what's up, chat room? We have a lot of people in the chat room. Actually, they like your beard.
Yeah, well, they can have it. I'll when I cut it, I'll put it in an envelope and mail it to them.
We want to say hi to B. Claudia and hope you're
B.
okay.
Claudia,
they're having flooding in Germany, and the floods are all over like feet high, and so she's stay safe, B.
My daughter Leslie said that next year, she read somewhere or somebody told her next year the United States is going to have the most rain it's ever had because of some El Nino or El one of those people. Anyway, we need the rain here in the desert, but the only problem is the desert absorbs X amount of footage. Maybe it absorbs 2 feet of water, and then it doesn't absorb any more. So Palm Springs floods very easily because the water coming down from the mountains goes down the wash, but the streets become a wash also. So the mountain water goes in the streets.
We'll worry about it later.
Well, it's going to be a very floody winter time, but my plants need it because it's been 123 here and all those stupid numbers, and my plants just couldn't deal with it.
She said that we can see the pics on Facebook. It's like feet of rain.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
So we hope you're stay safe, and we have a whole bunch of people in here to say hi to. Flash flooding. Teresa Saban is here from Florida, and Dawn Hinton is here. She's from Burbank, I think. Backpack John is here. Angela Joseph is here. Eileen Shapiro is here.
Woo!
Cindy Lady Lake is here. I know there's other people, but they're not writing in there fast enough, so I can't mention them. So I can only mention them when I see it because I can't go back. But anybody, we want to thank you guys. I think Alexi Angelini is in there, and I don't know if Artist Miss Kim is there yet. But you guys, we have a super fun show. We have 2 guests coming on today. First, we have Oscar nominee Randy Edelman, one of the biggest composers of film in the world. He's composed the soundtracks for like amazing things, including Last of the Mohicans, of which he got nominated for an Academy Award. And he's also written songs for some of the biggest people ever. And then we have Jeff Dwoskin, a comedian, podcast host. Ron and I have been on his show, and we had a good time. And so we like having him come on to like kind of cross promote each other. He's a really cool guy. And so I think it'll all be fun. Oh, and Miss Kim just showed up. Yay. So we had a great time, you guys, this last week. Last week, after we left the show, we immediately rushed to get to L.A. to see the screening of Pretty Boy, the film written by Joe Netter, directed by Marcel Walsh, and starring Sarah French and a bunch of other cool people that have been on our show. Devaney Pinn is in it, a bunch of other cool people, and we had a great time. Did you have fun?
I'm not speaking because I feel like an old man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to act like an old man and just sit here and do.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Jimmy's there too. What's up, Jimmy?
Jimmy,
I forgot. Jimmy. Jimmy's from Jimmy's Universe.
Oh,
he's always in there.
Anyway,
he used to be called Aquarius View.
We had a lovely time with
Boomer,
with all our friends at the movie. The movie is a slasher movie, but then it changes and turns around and has a story. I am not a fan of slasher movies. I will not hide that fact. I'm in them. I don't like them. And I really don't accept a script where I get bloody and killed because I don't want to see myself that way. And I don't think I need that as an actor. As an actor, I like to act. Just being in a scene where they slash me with no dialogue, I leave that for others that enjoy that. Anyway, Pretty Boy is worth seeing, but you must see Blind first. After seeing Blind, you'll get what Pretty Boy is all about. You know, when you write something as terrific as Blind, which is really a classic piece of writing, it's very hard with number 2 to compete. Some people think it's better. Some people think it's equal. Some people think it's less. It's a matter of taste. But I always felt that 1 is an original, 2 is a copy. And copies don't necessarily stand up as well as originals do. But for you slasher freaks out there, this is the movie you want to see. Plenty of ahs and oohs and oh my God, look at that. I didn't look. I looked down at the floor whenever they start chopping, cutting, blowing up, sticking, stabbing. Ugh, I can't deal with that crap. Anyway, I would suggest you go see Pretty Boy. It's a fine film. It's a good film. But please see Blind first. Now about our house. I've been designing our house on Facebook, and I love the idea that all my Facebook friends now are really close with me because they're giving me their opinions on what we should do with the wall over the fireplace. I've done it in a couple of different looks, and nobody likes any of it, neither do I. But now I've hung a painting there that's really an interesting watercolor, and it goes well with the seafoam bricks that I rock ledge that I painted. The only problem is our living room now looks like 2 fairies live in that house. It doesn't look like men live there. 2 old queens, you know, like I should serve tea to other old ladies. It doesn't have a young, springy feeling to it. But then again, you know, we are old, so I guess it's befitting who we are. As far as mid-century goes, I've had it. I had it in the 1950s. I hated it. I don't like it now. It's cold. It's like a doctor's office. And it's all made out of junk today. There's no wood. It's all pressed cardboard or some kind of weird stuff. So you're spending a fortune of money on a sofa that doesn't even have down in it. And you know, you buy it. You're spending a lot and getting little. Years ago, the furniture was made indestructible with feathers and foam, and the fabrics were all high quality. Today, if you go to Bloomingdale's showroom, everything is gray, black, beige, and the fabrics stink. They're not even good fabrics. They're all polysynthetics. So what do I do now when I need furniture? I go to consignment shops and I buy the magnificent stuff that cost a fortune years ago that people don't want because they've gone mid-century. Thank you for going mid-century because now I'm able to buy real wood. I only have wood in our house. I will not have composition, and I will not have junk, you know, crappy, made like crap screw-on leg furniture. Hope I'm not offending you out there if you have that, but that's your taste. And you gave your opinion. Now I'm giving you my opinion.
So on, you got all kinds of people in the chat room, and I want to go back to talking about Pretty Boy. But everybody in the chat room says the house is beautiful. They all saw the pictures.
No, I have a watercolor up now of a woman, a Pompeian woman. You know, Pompeii. It's a beautiful watercolor. but it does make the room feminine. I mean, that room looks like I should wear a gold lame gown,
doesn't.
and Jimmy should be in a hot pink satin gown.
It does not.
It does so. It look like two fruits.
So anyway,
like a fruity living room.
Show Dawn your watch real quick, and everybody loves it. And they all said they love the aubergine.
The what?
Aubergine.
You pronounce it correctly, or I'll beat you.
Aubergine.
It's called aubergine, you Floridian.
And show the picture. Show the watch.
I showed the watch.
I know. You're showing the band.
Well, here, it's my 40s watch.
That one's mine, actually. The pink one. I love it.
Well, thank you for telling everyone that. I borrowed it from Fago over here. Miss Bitch Face. That he likes that pink. He got so excited. He said, "Oh, the room is pink."
We also want to give.
I said, "You are such a fairy that you love the room pink. You're
I love it pink.
You're a real fucking girl. I really mean it. You should have tits. I'd be happy. Tits as big as Angie's or Eileen's tits. If you're gonna have tits put in, if you're gonna have tits put in, have them put in the size of Eileen's."
They said the watch is beautiful. Now they're laughing, and they love pink too.
Yeah, but you're a man. I mean, I came from a culture where pink was for women.
But you're wearing pink.
Well, because nowadays we're allowed. But in my day,
even has pink shoes on.
in the 1950s, pink and gray was the big thing. Okay, and I remember having a beautiful gray linen suit, double-breasted, gorgeous suit, and I wore a pink shirt, soft pink, with a gray tie. And my father said, "Take that shirt off, or you look like a fag." And I thought to myself, "Gee, already they know it." But anyway, I changed the pink shirt and I put a white one on. Back then, men did not wear pink. They were ashamed to wear pink. Today, thank God, Ralph Lauren and all the other great designers have introduced us to so much color. And it's nice that we don't have to always wear beige, gray, and white and black.
They're talking about my phone case. You're right. My phone case is pink.
Everything
love
this
it.
fairy has is pink. I swear to God.
I have sneakers and
I'm buying him
loafers. I'm wearing pink shorts.
I'm going to buy him pink ballet slippers because he wanted them when he was a kid, and his sister got them at
and
Christmas.
they're talking about how much they like my pink.
Wait, and he thought that he was getting the pink ballet slippers, but they were for his sister. So he knew he was a homo when he was like 6 or 7 years old. All right, I didn't find out until I was a teenager, but he knew he was a homo.
They say I wear pink very well.
Yeah, because you're a fairy. That's why you wear pink very well.
Anyway, real quick, going back to the Pity Boy thing, you guys, we had a blast. We had all kinds of friends there that you guys know who have been on the show. Sadie Katz was there. Jan Birch was there. Al Burke was there. The guy, Dan Babick, who we saw 2 weeks ago on the show with the little puppy from the dog show. What a great guy. Angela Joseph was there with us. She's in the chat room.
Outrageous. She had on a top that I swear I don't know.
It was a dress.
Her dress. There's a contest going on. Who's bigger, Eileen or Angie? I mean, but if Eileen and Angie were in that room, there'd be no room for anybody else because their boobs would have taken up all the space. But Angie's got some set of.
We also we met everybody from the cast. Robert Russell was there.
Everybody. We had a ball. Then we went to the after party, which was in the studio where they shot, and that reminded me of parties I used to go to 1,000 years ago.
Wolfpack Studios.
Well, years ago, I used to go to Warner Brothers a lot, and we would go to parties on the. I think it was 10. Was it number 10? I think we used to go to. Was it 10? Anyway, it was one of the numbers on the lot where they would show the movie, clips of it, and then the after party. And that's where you saw, Clark Gable and all those big stars.
So we also want to give a quick shout out to Boomer. Boomer Mays, what's up? Today's his birthday. So happy birthday, Boomer. Thanks for checking us out and coming in the show every week. And we want to wish you the best birthday ever.
Happy birthday, Boomer.
And B. Claudia is saying she can't wait for today's guest. He's a legend. So there you go. So we're going to bring our legend on right now. Go ahead. Let's bring him in. Hey!
Oh!
Well, for once the guest got in.
I'm in. Big, I'm in a big way. Right in there. Look at that.
Because we've been having a little bit of bad luck in these last couple of weeks. The people that we've invited on, they don't know how to get in, and they never had somebody around to help them. So we were screwed. We didn't have a guest, and we'd have to improvise.
Well, you were almost screwed today, but because you have a legend, you're in.
Well, you are a legend.
So hang on. So now you're on your phone, right?
I'm on the phone, but I set it up in front of my it's in front of my laptop.
Is there a way that you can turn the phone sideways, or will that mess you up? So we have a long picture of you, a wide picture. There you go. Look at that.
Now it looks like a real camera.
There you go. Perfect. You're okay. So now we got to introduce you. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, one of the most talented men and an Academy Award nominee, Mr. Randy Edelman. Hello and welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. Good to see you guys. I'm glad we're in business here.
Yes, me too. Let me introduce you, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Ron Russell.
Nice to meet
you. I know.
Nice to meet you. I bet you're a nice little Jewish boy.
Of course.
I'm a half a Jewish boy.
Half is better than none, baby.
Well, somebody once said to me, which half is what? I said, well, my upper half is Italian because it works like hard labor. My lower half is Jewish, I said, and it goes once a month.
Okay. Right.
with a lot of begging.
well, okay. We're not going to get into that, but whatever, it's fine.
So now we have a chat room full of people. Everybody's represented, like lots of different countries. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi to everybody in the chat room.
Then you have to do some special ones. So we got Eileen in there. So say hi to Miss Eileen.
She's the greatest.
Yes, she is.
What do you men see in her? Besides her boobs. I mean, every guy that has
I met her. I've never even, when you have that kind of soul, the beauty just suits. You look at no boobs.
You're the only one.
No, I'm not the only one.
I know. I said he's the only one.
Yeah, you're the only one.
Everybody else always tells us how much they love her boobs.
Every guy that we know makes a comment about it in private. I mean, I personally, when I saw Eileen, I didn't ever saw boobs. I just saw her charm and inner beauty, and that's a lot of shit. But anyway,
but I'm with you, baby. That's the way I feel about her.
There you go. So hold on. We have the one who actually wrote that you're such a legend in the chat room. Her name is B. Claudia, and she's in Germany. She's fabulous. So say hi to B. Claudia so she can faint.
B. Claudia, is that B like Beatrice, B-E-A? My mother's.
No, B like the little bug that flies around and gives you honey.
Oh, B. Oh, that's true. Okay. Hi,
and right now she's floating because Germany is flooding.
Yeah.
Bad floods in Germany. So B is doing backstrokes as she talks.
All right, everybody. So now we're going to tell you a little bit about Randy Edelman before we get going too far. So first of all, he's a composer. He's a singer. He's got a brand new song. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. You can follow him on Instagram. He's The Real Randy Edelman on Instagram, and he's Randy Edelman on Twitter, and that's Edelman. So Randy Edelman. His website is randyedelman.com. And I'm going to do some bragging for you, and then we're going to just come back and talk about all of it. But that way people get to know who you are a little bit. So you guys, as a musician, he was the opening solo act to many groups, including the Carpenters, Frank Zappa, and I don't know who the Mothers of Invention are, but it was on your website. So
I know who they were.
What do you mean? That was Frank Zappa's group.
I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah. This is old history. Why are you talking about this stuff?
No, because it's fun to talk about.
Move on, baby. Move
no,
on.
let's not control our show. Let us control the show. Don't you
Ron,
tell us what to do. No, fuck off. Fuck off. I don't like being told what to do. Okay, you're a guest on our show. Act like a guest.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not kidding. We will ask you the questions. You don't direct us, okay? I don't. Would I do that to you? Would I do that to you?
Okay,
He's building bricks for you. He's giving people your background because you have an amazing background. And to leave out one piece of work is a sin. So please let him continue building who you are. And you are a great composer.
And then we're going to do the current stuff too, Randy.
You have 10, 11 hours then. Okay, go ahead.
No, you're going to be on for a while.
No, we're going to get it perfect.
Listen. We are a conversation show. We are not an interview show. We pal out with our guests and we talk back and forth and we have fun and we lighten up and then we go into serious stuff.
That's exactly why we were having a conversation.
That's why we have over 4.5 million people that watch us every year from all over the world. And 3 years in a row, we've been voted the #1 podcast talk show. So now you know who we are. Let's hear who you are. Go, Jimmy, go.
All right. So here we go, you guys. First of all, I wanted to bring up the thing with the Carpenters because you know that song, which I know it's not the song you did, but you know that song, that little kid song, Sing a Song with the kids. I'm one of the little kids.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
performed with them a bunch when I was little.
Yeah, that's when I met them about that time. Yeah.
I was like really little, but it was like a lot of fun. So anyway, you guys, he's got songs recorded by, this is just some of the stuff, you guys, because like he said, we'd be talking for hours. He's recorded songs by Barry Manilow has recorded his music, Patti LaBelle.
Woo! Patti LaBelle, that's a biggie.
Olivia Newton-John, Maureen McGovern, The Carpenters, The Fifth Dimension, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Kool and the Gang, Bing Crosby,
That's another biggie.
Nelly, and Rosemary Clooney.
Biggie for my day.
He's also appeared on Top of the Pops, which for me was like a really big deal. He's done concerts at the London Palladium and the Drury Theaters. He's toured through Europe, Japan, and Australia. And he's done movie scores for like huge, like this is like super impressive. There's so many things that are impressive, but I picked out the films though for you, Randy, of the films that I actually like a lot. So here we go. Alex Cross, because I have a friend in it. National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, The Executive Action with Burt Lancaster, Ghostbusters 2, Twins, Troop Beverly Hills, My Cousin Vinny, Shout, which believe it or not, like I love that movie Shout, and I love that guy Jamie Walters, who I've been trying to get on the show. Now he's a fireman, he doesn't act anymore. The Last of the Mohicans, of which you got an Academy Award nominee, congratulations. Mask, While You Were Sleeping, The Quest, Dragonheart, For Richer or Poor, Head Over Heels, The Skulls, Triple X, 27 Dresses, The Boy Next Door with Jennifer Lopez, and Leap Year with Amy Adams.
And
I know there's a lot more. What did I miss? What did I miss?
Oh, my.
I know I missed a lot because I only said about 20 and there's hundreds of them.
Think Civil War.
Gettysburg.
There you go. There's what I knew Ron was going to chime in with that right away. Okay, go ahead.
No. You have an amazing, I hate the word amazing. Everybody uses it. You have a fabulous career, my friend. You have really succeeded beyond most people we know. I knew
beyond my own.
Well, I knew Burt Bacharach years ago.
No.
And I thought Burt Bacharach was big stuff because he wrote 6 songs that I loved. But you, my darling friend, you have absolutely outshone everybody.
Oh, well, Burt Bacharach is an original, a great.
Yeah, but 6 songs. Look at you, what you've got.
He's got more than 6 songs. Okay, well, if you want, I'll give him a ring and he can come on the show.
Okay, I knew Burt when he was married to Angie. Years ago, many years ago.
I didn't know him then, but okay.
I love it. Okay, so you got all these great things that you've done. Do you have something? And I also know you did stuff for like the Olympics and I don't know, a whole bunch of things. What is like if you had to pick a career highlight? What is something that has been like one of your favorite things? Because obviously you got a zillion of them.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't. When we talk about these things down, when you mention them, which is wonderful for me to hear these things, and of course I remember all of them. I didn't do things. I didn't go from one thing, doing my albums and writing songs, to suddenly composing for films. That's a 15 or 20 year, thing before that started. So from each thing, there are different wonderful stories, which we don't have time to get into them, but there are certain songs that I wrote that, turned into things that were totally unexpected years later. The films, every different genre, whether it be action, period films, and all the comedies I did, they each director, they each have their own story. So I don't really have, one in particular of any of these areas, but it's not like I went from one area to the other area. There was a gradual kind of turnaround. And actually it was, in many of these cases, it was hard work to almost turn the ship around, so to speak, because all of these things for me were totally unexpected. I was a classical trained conservatory graduate musician. So I had no idea long ago when I was interested in music that it would go to any of these places. I didn't want to be a songwriter. I certainly didn't know anything about film scores other than just like you would go and see a film and you may hear the music and think it's great, but I didn't have a path I was going down. The only path I had that I was going down is I figured there may be a way that I could not get a job, sit behind a piano. I've never been in a band or anything like that, and create and write music of some kind, which I liked, all different kinds of things. And that was my goal, to be able to do that.
Love it.
So what work of yours are you the most proud of?
Like I said, in the areas of scores, I may say to you, Mohegans or Gettysburg or a film called Come See the Paradise, the great English director, the best director there was, Alan Parker, called Come See the Paradise. But then you have all the comedies like The Mask and My Cousin Vinny and all the Schwarzenegger twins.
Loved My Cousin Vinny.
Well, that was an unexpected. A lot of those things that I did, they were nothing. There was no expectation. They were not big budget films. When they came out, they weren't particularly successful. So I had a lot of those kind of odd situations that seemingly it's not really that I picked things. It's not like it was hard work getting them as opposed to someone else being on them, but things would they would turn out very well, and they've all stood the test of time. As far as the songs, a lot of them were songs that I wrote that I put on an album, and my albums never really sold except in England, a few of them, but then they would get a certain song, the least likely song, like Weekend in New England that Barry Manilow did. They were the songs that nobody really responded to when I did my own album. And I never wrote songs for people. They were always people finding these things on my albums. And there's stories that go along. The Nelly story, the rapper.
I dressed him. I used to be a clothing designer. I actually dressed Nelly once.
I didn't do that, but and I don't know whether it was you or Ron that said something when you said Patti LaBelle.
I love Patti LaBelle.
Okay, well,
I worship Patti LaBelle.
Okay, well, Patti LaBelle was the reason for the Nelly record, but they're 20 years. That's a 20-year story, and a 5-year story before Patti LaBelle recorded my song from my album, and of course did a 8-minute screaming version, completely different than my nice little quiet ballad that I didn't even want to put on that album it was on. And then she did a version of it, and it was right at the end of the time when there were kind of regional like R&B stations, and then it's not like that obviously for years and years, but it was a big R&B hit. And years later, Nelly took that version of my song and worked with it, and that's how I got that.
Tell everybody the name of the song.
What's the name of the song?
Hey, the name of the song is "Isn't It a Shame?"
Okay, I know that. That you wrote that?
Of course I wrote it. Yeah,
I know that. I know. And Pat,
my friend, such a love must end. This quiet.
I fucking love it.
Okay,
I know.
Then Patti LaBelle took
she
that,
belted it. She belted
and
it.
she. It was like 8 minutes long. They cut it down to maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and it became a hit single. And then years later, the 8-minute screaming version is the one. Too long a story that Nelly picked up, and nobody really told me, and until it was like
a hit.
Huge.
Yeah, but it's a great song.
A huge hit.
It's really a great song, by the way. I would say you did an excellent job on that song.
Thank you.
No, it's a fabulous song, and Patti LaBelle does make you crazy with it. She goes on and on.
When I went to Santa Monica Civic after she recorded it, I hadn't heard the record. They just said, "Oh, she did the song on her album. It wasn't a single yet." And I went and I saw her with her group, LaBelle, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Bells.
And and they were coming off that big, that French, that huge song, Lady Marmalade or whatever that was.
Oh, that was good.
Right. And I saw her, and I went back, and then we talked. I went back and met her, and then it became a hit. And so there's stories behind these songs of mine that weren't obvious from the beginning, and they were on these albums that I did for years. And so a lot of those things weren't, they weren't like I wrote the song, I recorded it, and everybody said that's a hit or that's it. They were always the ones that both that song and Weekend in New England, the record companies wanted them off the album. You were only allowed to have 2 songs, and both of those were going to be tossed. And I did something to One of them I removed. I remember a song I removed. That was easy. But the other one I couldn't. So I worked out a way to have them both on. And there are more stories like that. But those were two.
Well, why don't you write a book? I mean, you've got so many stories. You know how interesting that book would be? The background of music for a change. We always have background of movie stars. Now, Patti LaBelle, I read somewhere, when she did On My Own, never thought it would be the hit it was because it was interracial. People were upset that a black woman was living with the white man in the song. Back in those days, that stupidity existed. Today, thank God, it's gone. So Patti never dreamed in a million years that that song would be, and it's a fabulous song, On My Own. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a Michael McDonald song, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, a black woman with a white man back then was not a very pretty sight.
We love Michael McDonald.
You know, all you have to do, is mention a name to me, and I'll give you like an incredible story about me.
Oh, well, Patti
I'm not going to do that now. But
I love Patti. Patti LaBelle was supposed to come to my house for dinner because what's her name from
Kathy Sledge.
Kathy Sledge is a friend of ours, and she lived in the next town from us in Pennsylvania. So I mentioned to her how much I love Patti LaBelle, and she said, "Well, when my husband and I come to your house for dinner, we'll invite Patti LaBelle." But the studio said you have to be in LA immediately, so we had to move back to LA, and there went my meeting with Patti LaBelle.
Okay.
Have you ever met her?
Oh yeah.
I love her. Is she nice? And everybody says she's a doll in person.
Yeah. A lot of times you meet these people, especially after they record a song. Sometime I'll try to remember this. I'm going to mark it down. I'll tell you the full story because there's something really insane that I've left out of this story, but I'm not going to.
Oh, damn it. Write a friggin' book.
I went up to San Francisco to play songs for a producer. His name was like John Rubenstein or something like that. And that's where I played the song. I didn't meet her yet. And when I left there because of an event that happened while I was in the guy's office, I never met her and forgot about the song and her. And then months later, I found out she recorded the song and I was shocked. But the big story is what happened when I was sitting in that guy's office.
Well, if you don't tell me, I'm going to cut your throat.
Okay. It involves a shooting.
Okay, that's even better.
Shooting. This is juicy. Go, boy, go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I go up there with a wonderful woman named Margaret Nash, who used to be married to the well-known Johnny Nash.
Okay.
But she wasn't at the time. She was working for my publisher. We went up to San Francisco to play songs for this guy in, Fisherman's Wharf or whatever that little area. The music scene at that time, there was a lot of stuff in San Francisco, record companies had studios and stuff. And we went in to play. We had an appointment. Obviously, we flew up to San Francisco to play this guy's songs. And while I was there, somebody walked in and shot the guy.
Oh, my God. You're kidding.
Seriously.
I'm serious. Yeah.
No, I'm not serious.
Did they shoot him? Did he die?
Well, he didn't, thank God. But it was that serious. Of course, when you're sitting in a room with somebody, little office, playing like demos for this guy, you would never, you can't imagine. And it was so fast, I thought, you know what? The light above us blew out or something because it happened real fast. Turns out this was a guy who bought demos to this guy, and the guy had constantly returned them or never returned his calls. It was as simple as that. The guy ran out of there, so I never saw the guy, or it just happened in a split second. But the guy narrowly escaped from death.
That's good.
Well, thank God that the guy didn't decide to shoot everybody in the room.
To me, no. Thank God she did the song. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
No.
No.
So you're from New Jersey too, right? I read it on your website.
Teaneck, right across the bridge.
My relatives are from Teaneck. The Neros, they were there for centuries when Teaneck was just a mosquito swamp.
Well, it was a mosquito swamp when
my mother told me in 1921 when she used to go there as a kid. It was all swamp. But yeah, I can hear your Jersey accent, and I got to tell you, I have to tell you, I love it. It's music. You're giving me when you speak New York and Jersey, I'm in heaven because I have a New York accent and I refuse to lose it.
No, don't lose it. Me too. You know,
I love your accent. I love it. I could listen to you all day.
Well, okay.
I love the way. No, it's East. You know, in California, they make me nauseous sometimes with the call you and it's real neat. I mean, who the fuck talks like that? You know. I mean, in New York, we say, "Hey, fucko, how are you?" You know, we're more down to earth. We're real, and when you speak with honesty. Out here, they all sound like they're full of shit.
Exactly. He actually knows that because he lives here. He lives in Beverly Hills.
Oh, you live here?
Yes,
in Beverly Hills.
Here. I'm right in Beverly Hills. The least likely place for me to live. Right here. I've been here a while.
I lived in Beverly Hills. I lived on Spalding, right opposite the high school. Diagonal to the Beverly Hills High, and I was in the flats, and I had the nicest neighbors, all New York Jews. So I was in my glory. I was in my element.
Where I live, I've been in this for 25 years. I'm in the flats between Sunset and Santa Monica. I've never met no one speaks, people walk their dogs or somebody.
No.
That's how it is where we live.
No, I had what?
Well, you were in a
I went and spoke to my neighbors. Next door to me lived that beautiful girl from Peyton Place, the TV series. What the hell was her name?
You got to remember
Barbara something.
You got to remember too, though. He's talking about a long time ago, like because people have changed now. They used to be friendly. I think probably everywhere.
Greg Morrison was on the other side of me, 2 houses down. Was Greg Morrison from that TV show, whatever it was called. And across the street was on Penthouse 4 was Rita Hayworth. We saw her the night they came and took her away, the ambulance and all the cops. So I had a pretty active little block, and my neighbors were very nice. All Jews from New York. So, I mean, Jewish people are yentas and they like to talk, and it was comfortable. It was home for me. Then suddenly it started to change, and Iranian people started moving in, and everybody hated the Iranians, which was bullshit because one of my dearest friends to date is Iranian, and they bought the house across the street, and he owns the rug company in Beverly Hills, that big rug place. And he's a sweetheart, and his family, they took us in like we were.
So anyway, he moved back to California. He moved back to New York.
They treated us like mishpucha. But anyway, then I moved back. They went back to New York. Yeah.
You gotta like
that's my politics.
We live in Palm Springs now, and it's just like probably like it is like we don't know any of our neighbors really either.
Because there are no Jews here. There's all Goyim. All Goyim.
There's some Jews down there.
Not where we live.
Not in our development.
I don't know where you live. But.
I mean, there are 4 Jewish people here that we're dear friends with. Marilyn and Andy, and Sean Kanan, and Michelle, and who else is Jewish? That's it.
Oh, wait. We have Teresa Sabin is loving this. Teresa Sabin is kind of like B Claudia. She's just fabulous. She supports our show all the time. She never misses it, and she's talking about how much she loves this and how wonderful you are. And actually, everybody in the chat room loves you. So just say hi to Teresa for me too, because they love that when we do that. And then they hear it on the replay.
Hi to Teresa. Hi, Teresa.
You gotta love it. So basically, then of the story you told us a little while ago. So basically, even as not the story about the guy getting his shot. The story about your career. So even now, basically, you recorded stuff for you, and other people took it and recorded it. So they're not banging on your door for. I mean, you've done all these movie scores.
Oh no. Well, hold on. No, movie scores have nothing to do with songwriting. I don't write songs anymore at all for years. I wrote my new single when I was locked away here. Was about something specific, and I love doing it, and I love it. But no, songwriting I stopped that was like a different lifetime. So I just stopped. I don't have time. When you score films, it's a completely different animal, and it's a different craft, and it has nothing to do with songwriting.
Okay, so what about for movie scores?
In other words, you're retired.
No.
I want him to answer, not you.
No. No, songwriting is not. There are no songs in movies. That's not about film scoring is not about songs.
Right. Yes.
Songs are extraneous things. Now, many years ago, people would write lyrics to themes like Moon River, and that was great. They don't do that anymore. Any song that's in a movie now is a finished record that somebody.
You're right.
Now, maybe there'll be one example you give
You're
me.
right. No,
So my job as a film composer is to make scenes that a director has shot, whatever they may be, action, romance, comedy, work, and let the music enhance the scenes. And the last thing a director wants to hear from me is, you know what, I think maybe there'd be a good song, a lyric to that melody I wrote. That's not, so, and it's a different thing. For me, the film scoring was and is, because of the time constraints and all the pressures involved, a real wonderful musical challenge. So,
but do they come to you?
Don't you think we've lost something in film? Remember Three Coins in the Fountain, Love is a Many Splendid Thing? Those songs, but those songs made the romance. It made the movie so round and juicy.
Well,
Love songs now are horrible. They're rap, and rap is not romantic.
There are still things. There's still things that you can. I mean, Did you see the movie, Angelina Jolie's movie, The Tourist?
With Johnny Depp?
With Johnny Depp.
It's an old movie, about 15 years old.
No, it's not. It's only about 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And the best musical score in a long time. The music was magnificent, and I can't find the album because I want that album.
Well, my best friend produced it,
He produced the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so maybe he can tell me if they recorded.
I'm having a thing with him now, so I'm not going to call him. But he produced that.
Right.
They moved that, and that movie, I believe, I could be wrong, I think it was scored by a Polish composer, really, really good composer. So you're right, it was probably a great score. But you know what? When you do a movie, you don't always they won't do a soundtrack because of reuse fees. So they may not have, because if it was done, you would be able to get it in 1 second.
That, and I can't. And the musical score was so romantic when they do the waltz together in the palace.
I don't remember even seeing it. But
you should see it. It's really a fine film.
Wait, do you go back and watch?
Wait, and Angelina Jolie is
That's
absolutely breathtaking in it. Well, she grew up in my house. She lived on Roxbury. We lived on Spalding. My daughter went to school with her, so I know Angie since she was like 4 years old.
So hang on, I want to go back to you though, because then you, first of all, I messed something up before, but I have another thought in the meantime. So do you watch your own films to hear the scores?
Oh God!
After they come out?
Yeah. No, never. I do the score. You work on these scores for how long they give you. It could be 2 weeks or 2 months. So you have as long as whatever the story is of how you came to it, you have a certain amount of time. And you work night and day. You basically, no matter what it is, and it doesn't matter, by the way, if the film is good or bad, it's the same thing. And you can do a great job no matter what the film, the level of the production of the film is. It's still whatever it is hard work, and you go 24/7 every day of the week. And after that, unfortunately, it's not what you do. You do what you do. There's a lot of things that go on while you're writing. It's not like they give you the film and you're locked in a room and they say, we'll see you in 2 weeks. No, there's a director, producers, a studio. They come over every day when you should be looking at the picture, concentrating, trying to create the best music you can. But of course, every once in a while, there's a knock on the door and it's these guys. So the answer to your question is, what happens is you do it, and then when you're done, you have to turn it over to them and they go in for their mix. A mix is when they do the sound effects and the music and everything. And the composer, and that's when they screw up the score. Because they decide, you already decided and spotted, it's called spotting music, which each cue, where it comes in and where it goes out, okay? And maybe each film has, let's say, at least an hour of music. That's a lot of music, 50, 60 cues. So you do that, and then they take it, and they may decide when they go into their mix, you know what, let's start a little later. Or you know what, that music doesn't work. Gone. This is what happens. So what happens is, when your question, I think, was, do I watch it? After I turn it over to them, I go on to the next thing. I don't watch them.
So what's your back?
Like now, for instance, recently, thank God, I have lots of stuff on. It's on all day and night in every country in the world. Okay. I have lots of movies on. And even here, because I don't sleep at night, at 3 a.m, I will hear something, and I may have not really ever really listened to that score with the picture, the way it turned out. Now, that's maybe an overstatement, but not really. And I will hear something say, hey, that was, I was right about this or that, or they messed it up and took out the best cue in the movie. That's sort of what happens. So, no, you don't sit around and watch and, quote, admire or decide you did a lousy job. When it's over,
that's the way he is with all the movies he's in. He doesn't look at them.
I don't look at any. I've done a lot of movies, and I don't look at myself. I mean, I was forced to look at myself last week at a red carpet, and I left the theater saying, I look like a fucking old bag. I mean, I aged so quickly, and the lighting sucks because years ago they lit you correctly. Now there's no lighting, so jowls show bags. I mean, you look wretched, and they love to come in for nose hair shots. And I think it's hideous. I want to know
what are these movies that you were in that they come in for nose hair shots.
A lot of them today. Close-ups are the thing. Years ago, we did a standard shot of the whole room, like a theater, and the characters walked around in the room. Now the camera walks, and the camera does it for you. So if you're going to walk in a kitchen, they have your headshot walking in the kitchen, then the establishment of the kitchen. It's a new way of shooting, which stinks. Anyway, I want to know about your background. Which parent encouraged you to do music?
Neither.
Wow.
How did you get to where you? That's a hard school to go to.
I just sort of showed an early interest, and I would go over to luckily we had a little spinet piano in the living room, which all good Jewish families had.
Absolutely.
And and everybody had to start piano lessons, even though the music wasn't really in my family. So I expressed some interest and started playing, like the ballad of, what was that series? Davy Crockett. Like that was one of my first remembrances of a, quote, piece of music or a song that I kind of picked out. And then it's still, to this day, I always marvel at the fact that they got me piano lessons and I stuck to it and they went along with it. It wasn't that they didn't like music, but they had no background in it, let alone thinking that I was going to somehow they could.
So they were just Hamisher people.
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't come from money or big shots?
No, not at all. No.
Zippity doo dog.
Okay, so hold on. So
that makes me even respect and admire you more that you did it yourself. I like people I like people who don't get it easy, who don't inherit it from a parent. You did it the hard way, and I give you my utmost respect.
But that way, Ron, when you go out with no net and you land on your feet, that makes it that much more rewarding.
Everybody that I'm friends with is a self-made success, and they all did it the hard way. I don't respect people who, like some movie stars, have their children, their daughter, then their granddaughter, then their great-granddaughter in film. That's
nepotism.
Nepotism. That's an easy way in. Somebody like you or me, for example, that didn't come from it. I came from the projects in Brooklyn, during the Second World War. I was born in 1940. I'm 81 years old. So I've been around the block a lot of times. And I've seen too many people get it easy. And they're the bitches. They're the ones that are not nice. But the people that worked hard to get what they got, they're the nicer people.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm going to be in a movie soon with Lainey Kasdan. I love and adore Lainey. She's a dear friend for 40 years. And she was a simple Jew from Brooklyn. Father was a bookie. Mother was a Hamisher woman. And Lainey, look who she is today. I admire her so much too. It's wonderful. And
hang on, because
I love what you did.
I'm on a timeline here.
Well, this is what he's here for us to tell him what we think.
I know. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit because everybody in the chat room now, they're all like posting about your new song. So you have a brand new song. It's called "Coming Out the Other Side," released on Tribeca Records. I know there's 2 different versions of it. Tell us a little bit about the song, because he's going to actually play this live for us on the show.
Wait a minute. If he plays it live, are they going to cut it?
No, because he's playing it live. It's okay. We're not playing a recording of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do a different version of it. The song is really a song about that I sort of came up with the concept, but it's a fun thing. It's a kind of rock and rolly thing about how, after, hopefully, when I came up with the idea, it was before the vaccines were so successful that, when they let us out, everybody's going to have a good time. Basically, the song is called "Grab Your Hat, Put Your Best Suit On." That's really the title of the song. But, that's a little long. Seriously. That's the title of the song. Grab your hat, put your best suit on. But called it "Coming Out the Other Side" for
Well,
reasons.
it's no longer than on the sunny side of the street.
Yeah, well, it's just like the Weekend in New England story was supposed to be "When Will I Hold You Again?" Anyway, getting back to the song. But the song does have, even though when you listen to the record of it, it's a real poppy thing, and I spent a lot of time on the percussion stuff, there's another side to the song. And if I put it in a certain style that I won't say I originated, it's a very piano arpeggiated style, and I slow the song up and I sing the words in a certain way, it becomes a very personal song. I still say, "Grab your hat, put your best suit on," but you don't laugh. You kind of take it a little more seriously. And so here, for your listening enjoyment, right here from the Major 7th Recording Studios in Beverly Hills, California, grab your hat, put your best suit on.
And you have to say live, not recorded, live.
Live.
Or they'll cut it out.
It's okay. We're
For
good.
your
We're good.
listening enjoyment.
There you go.
Thank you for that. Is "Coming Out the Other Side" unplugged. Thank you.
Good. That's what we need.
All right. No, let's bring it down now. Here we go. You wake up with a smile on your face, 'cause today you can run from your place. You've been locked in your house all year long, but today you begin a new song. You've been pushed from your purpose in life, and then there on the edge of a knife. Now it's time to reach out and fight back. Time to see what this life all about. Take your good looks and deny them, and let your heart be filled with pride. Grab your coat and all your belongings, 'cause you're coming out the other side. There's a new kind of spring in your step, and a fresh attitude. You've got pep, and a new kind of spirit fills your space, and a new attitude. It's your new place. So just take a good look all around you, and let your heart be filled with pride. Grab grab your hat, put your best suit on, 'cause you're coming out the other side. Grab your hat, put your best suit on, you're coming out the other side.
Yo, great lyrics, very inspirational, and yes, indeed. And that's a good song. And I can imagine when it's full orchestration, how exciting it's going to be.
It is. It's out now, you guys. You can get it now, you guys. It's available. Right. It came out a week ago. It's a different version. Are you going to release the ballad version also?
Well, maybe for certain, for certain instances where people are kind of, I kind of messed up the lyrics, by the way, a little.
Nobody noticed.
But yeah, nobody knows because nobody knows the song. But just when I got to the first chorus. But for certain situations, that people are interested in it for kind of using it would work good in that light. The record is a lot different, but
it's fabulous, and everybody in the chat room loved it.
The lyrics, are
beautiful.
They make a point, and I think after all this crap that we've gone through, we need a point. We need something to say. This is what it was, and you did it in that song.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people are just still walking around saying, "But why were we locked up? Why couldn't we go to restaurants?" I mean, they're a little brain dead. But that's I know people that do that. How come? How come we couldn't go to movie theaters? Because you could die, stupid. You could get the flu. But anyway, your song tells it all.
Thanks.
It's very good. You're an extremely talented man. That's why in the beginning of the show I got angry, because I wanted to brag about you, and you're so fucking modest. You didn't want us to do that. And that's the reason you're here. You're here because we think a lot of you, and we wanted our audiences to know that.
Well, I'm sorry it came off like that, but
no, you can't. You were saying no. No, you're good. You're good. You really are a talented man, and you've really done a lot of a huge package of work. I mean, I don't know how your brain could put all that shit out there, not be the same. I would be duplicating it. How do you do that? Not duplicate?
Well, you sort of, like I said before, you concentrate, whether it's a song or a score, on what is in front of you and what it is, and how you can best, in an original way, that can best put that idea or that score across. And so that's the way that I approach all these things in separately, one at a time. And like I said, that's why it's not like it sounds like I do all these things or write a theme for the Olympics or NASA, the space shuttle, or all stuff. I do them separately. I get hopefully very enthused about each thing that I do. I concentrate, and then I'm on to the next. But when I do it, I'm fully devoted to whatever it is I'm doing.
So so first of all, everybody, you can all go to randyedelman.com to see all the different stuff he's done. So I have a question, like the songs that you recorded, I mean, that like Patti LaBelle recorded and Weekend in New England, do you have your own versions that are released like on your website that people can hear?
Oh, no. Just, yeah. No, they're on my albums. They're all
okay.
No,
but it's your version on your albums then, right?
No. So go to YouTube, Randy Edelman, New England, and you'll see what'll come up. You'll see my version of Weekend in New England.
I can't wait. I'm going to do that today.
Randy, if someone does a cover of one of your songs, do they need to get permission from you to do that?
No, not at all. No, they of course you
pay for it.
Oh yeah. Well, no, nobody pays for it. You don't get paid anything.
So I could make if I wanted to.
No. It's my song. It's registered. They record it. They don't record it like it's recorded by Joe Blow. It's Randy Edelman, published by whoever the publisher was, always. So that's
yeah, but you don't make any money.
Yeah, they do. If they make money,
Randy doesn't make money.
Yeah, he does.
No,
Jimmy, if you want to get on the show, go to Randy's house and I'll interview you too.
Ron, no, that you're way off base. Of
That's
course
what I need to know.
No, they don't pay you up front. You get royalties when the song gets played.
Okay, so
by
if I
Patti LaBelle, it's
so if
always,
I
Patti LaBelle doesn't get any money. The writer does. I get paid.
oh good.
Patti LaBelle gets paid from sales of the actual record she made or when she does an appearance. But yeah, it's same thing with movies. When a movie is shown on television or any place, the composer gets paid. But movie's different because you get paid to do the quote.
Okay, we have many friends who have big rock groups who have recorded music in the 70s and the 80s, and they all got robbed. Our very good friend Joya from Expose made millions of dollars, and she only wound up with 500.
No, she didn't make any money. Don't talk numbers because you don't know what you're talking
anyway,
about.
that doesn't happen with you, but with them, they all got robbed.
Those are, you know what? Yeah, those are usually odd cases. All you have to do when you write a song, it's owned by you. You register it. If you don't, then nobody can steal it from you. Now, in the older days, yeah, you have all these examples of record labels or companies that took songs and gave them the writers, $100 or something. Those are odd cases. Not that it didn't happen a lot in the early days, but basically it's pretty easy to protect yourself. And then if it doesn't get logged and recorded, then you have legal.
So all the music that you have written over the years, if it's used, you still get paid.
You always get paid from the first.
So you're very rich. I mean, what are we talking about here? Millions. You're worth millions, you son of a bitch. I mean, come on.
No.
All right, wait, are you married?
Yes.
Oh, because if you weren't, I got a nice girl for you.
No. But seriously, that aspect of this was my thing was always the music. I mean that sincerely. And whether if I want to do a movie for nothing, which I've done many times, I'll do it because I want to do it. It has nothing to do with, how much.
Oh, good. Then you can write the music for the movie I've written with Lainey Kasdan.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that movie. I only do ones that I want.
No, but I'll send you the script. When you read the script, you'll love it.
Kasdan, I can tell you right now. See, I'm very, when I do something, I put 100%, but I have to be into it from the get-go.
Well, the storyline is...
I already told you. I already stopped you, Ron.
No, wait, but I'm pushy. Listen, I'm Jewish. I'm pushy.
Hold on. Somehow the thing went off.
Yeah.
Okay. No, really. It just said what no, I swear to God,
fuck?
It went done. Oh, there you are. Okay, all right.
Okay.
I didn't do that.
It's about a Jew.
No.
Wait, shut
it's
up.
About
Jimmy.
a thing. No,
just one
Wait,
more.
we gotta go because we only got 2 minutes left. Here.
Oh, I was pushing my movie, Jimmy. You're
I
never
know.
gonna get anywhere in this world if you don't push.
That's okay. He's not one I want to push.
Jimmy's not Jewish, so he don't know the word push. Right. When you're raised Jewish, the first thing they tell you is gelt and push. Learn those two words, you'll go far in the world. Right?
Gelt is like money.
Gelt is money, yeah, and push is what Jewish people live by the word push. Your mother's a pushy. Jews are very pushy people.
So you guys, let's go back. Hold on. So this is Randy Edelman. First of all, he's not super active in social media, but he's working on it. You can follow him on Instagram. It's The Real Randy Edelman. And his Twitter is Randy Edelman. It's RANDYEDELMAN. The brand new single out on Tribeca Records is called Coming Out the Other Side. It's available on all your streaming platforms and digital download sites now. His website is randyedelman.com. He's done so many phenomenal things. And so you need to watch all the movies and listen to all the songs. And I'm totally going to Google you now. And listen to all you doing Weekend in New England and stuff. I want to hear that.
All you do is just put it in there, and most of the time, you can get anything you want. And then you look, if it's Weekend New England, you may see it's been recorded by all these people. You'll see the original version of mine. Isn't it a shame? The same thing with Patti LaBelle. You'll see there's an original.
Right.
And the versions you'll see are much different. So you can give me the credit for writing songs. In some cases, you give the other
Well, everybody has a rendition, and Patti LaBelle did a rendition of your song, but it's still your words, it's your music.
Oh, no, completely. Yeah, no, that's
she just screamed it out and jazzed it up.
Screeched it, I'd say, not screamed.
Screeched.
Oh, no,
Okay.
Patti LaBelle can hit notes nobody can. I mean, her high C's can blow a window out.
Notes, but anyway.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
He loves
but
her.
I want to say something. Sorry, it was rough in the beginning. You're a hell of a nice guy.
Thank
You're
you.
a sweetheart. You're
And
you're good. You're good. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm very tough. I'm very outspoken because I don't give a shit. I'm 81 years old. What are you gonna do? Sue me? What are you gonna do? Have me thrown out of
lawyer. Okay.
Wait, have me thrown out of the business that I've been in for 64 years? Frig all of you. I'm grandpa. Anyway, you're a terrific guy, Randy. I'm not sorry you're married. I'm happy you're married, but I have a nice girl for you.
Nice. Yeah.
A nice girl, really. She's loaded. She's worth millions.
That's a whole other life.
Yes, that's a whole nother one. So everybody,
we can't go near that.
That's right.
So wait a minute. Is your wife in the business?
Oh, my wife is in the business in a big way. Yeah.
Who is she? Maybe we know her.
We know her.
Jackie DeShannon.
Go fuck yourself. That's your wife?
Yep.
Jackie is your wife. I love her.
So,
why didn't you tell me this from the beginning?
Because I don't.
Because this is an
Oh
interview
my
with him.
God, I love her.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
She hired me as her conductor when I was 19 years old.
You talking about Jackie that I know from years ago that made music? That Jackie? Or
Jackie DeShannon, yes.
Or is it a woman
You're talking about a woman that's the forerunner of all the rest of this women songwriters, right?
I love and adore her.
Yeah.
It's the same Jackie. It's not a woman with the same name, right?
Yeah.
How did you?
That's
We
it.
gotta go. 'Cause we gotta go.
Wait,
We gotta go.
Randy, if I knew this, I would have asked you long ago. How did you?
No, you do
The romance.
and I wouldn't have answered one question because that's
You wouldn't have told us the romance, how you met and fell in love?
Nope. That's okay.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't want to.
It's right. Well, we stray off the subject.
There we go. We
Well,
stray
we
off
talk
the subject.
about it.
Anyway,
Oh
so
my
we want to
God,
thank.
Jackie is your
Congratulations on
wife.
your wife, on your wonderful
Woo!
career. Thanks for coming on the show. Lots of people are going to love it, and
Right.
everybody in the chat room loves it. And we wish you the best with the new
All
single
right.
coming out
Great
the other
to see you
side.
guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye.
Get out of the heat. If you're in
Yes.
Palm Springs, get
We
out
are.
of
Next
the
weekend we're in LA. Take
right.
care, Randy, and
Great,
give your wife
Ron.
a big
Good
give
to see
your
you.
wife
I'll
a big kiss for me.
Thanks.
I love
Bye.
her. Bye.
All right,
now.
everybody. So that was
Imagine
Randy
he's
Edelman.
married to Jackie. Holy shit.
You can hear the show, you guys, on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, and SoundCloud.
Now, how come, Mary, that you knew who she was and you didn't
Because
mention
I know that he won't talk about her. So
Why won't he talk
Because
about
that's not because he's not coming on to talk about his wife. He's coming on to talk about himself.
No, when a guest comes on, they talk about whatever we ask them. If they don't want to be cooperative, then we never have them back.
Yeah, but
You come on this show, you got to be
I know,
open and
we don't
honest like
do.
we are. We talk about ourselves. I
know,
talk
but not
about
everybody
you.
Does.
I talk about you.
Anyway, we got to
being a-
move. We got another guest.
Yeah, but I talk about you loving pink and being a big fairy.
I know, but that's because our audience knows us. So there you go. Let's
Yeah, but
let Jeff
I
in.
want everybody that comes on our show to be open and honest.
There we go. Hey, what's up, Jeff?
How are
Jeff's
you?
Jeff's laughing.
Jeff, if you're not open and honest, get the fuck off the show right now.
I know you won't have me back, so let's.
I won't have you now. I'll cut you right now and I'll put on cartoons.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Now we want to
Donald
welcome.
Duck.
Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, comedian, podcast host, super cool guy, Jeff Dwoskin. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
Good.
Jeff.
How are you?
Nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you again.
Actually, in the chat room, they're saying run.
Run? No.
Ah,
that's
man.
hilarious.
Sometimes you got to tell a guest where it's at, because a lot of times they want to run the show and it doesn't work that way. When like you're a guest, you listen to what we say because it's our show. That's proper. And that's what pisses me off because I walked off the show once because we had one bitchy woman on that wouldn't stop. She was telling us what to say, what not to do, what not to talk about. And I thought, what is this, like a concentration camp with this broad? She's like a mafia. So
But he wasn't like that.
No, he wasn't. But look, you're a talk show host. You know what I'm talking about. We lead them where we want them to go to make the show good. Why do you think our show is such a great success, better than yours or anybody else's show? Because we know how to do it. We know how to get the guts out of our guests.
So hold on, because I want to we know how to get the guts.
We don't want to hear you talk. You're such a fucking bore.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to Jeff and talk real quick. So first of all,
Jeff,
you guys
you look good. What, you have work done?
No, this is all natural, Ron.
Oh, you're in love or you just got laid because your face looks good.
you gotta love it.
You look at him, he's got those teeth. I want to knock him right out.
Yeah, he has great. You have great
Look
teeth.
at those. Are those teeth yours?
Yes.
Look at you got gorgeous teeth.
Yeah,
You're a
he
good
has
looking
great
guy.
teeth.
You married?
I am married. Yes. We
Oh,
can
well,
talk all about my wife. That's fine.
I got a nice girl for you. Too bad.
So you guys, everybody, this is Jeff. His website is jeffisfunny.com. He has a great show. It's called The Jeff Dwoskin Show. Actually, it's live from Detroit, The Jeff Dwoskin Show. And I don't know. Tell people about your show a little bit. Like when is your show?
Tell him before it goes off the air.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's the podcast live from Detroit. It comes out every Monday at midnight Eastern time. It's a pop culture comedy kind of mix there. I love talking to comedians. I love talking to actors. I got a whole social media background, so I do a little bit of that. And it was sort of like a little variety show-ish type thing. But the anchor of the whole episode is usually an interview with someone famous or a comedian or something like that.
So wait.
He's absolutely underselling himself. I have been on a million talk shows, and half of them I will never be on again. His show I will. We had a lot of fun on his show. His show is really very good. Don't underplay it and don't undersell it.
So I have two shows. The other one, that's the podcast I was just describing. My weekly live show, Crossing the Streams, which our highlight episode featured Jimmy Starr and Ron Russell, is a weekly show that's completely live and interactive like this. But we just talk about shows that you should be streaming on TV, because everyone's always like, what should I be watching on TV? And so we just kind of built a whole show around it. Like here, we talk about stuff you should, and sometimes stuff you shouldn't. So
no, but it was different. It was interesting. Yeah. Of course, I had a lot of fun with it. My humor is a little off the wall. But what was our rating? I bet it was outrageous.
Did people like us or they hated us?
Yeah, when we were,
because they either love us or hate us.
No, they love us. How could they hate us? We're honest. We're open. We tell it like it is. There's no bullshit on this show. You want to bullshit? Go on.
So wait a second. Anyway, I want to go back. I have a question. So, because I read that on your website, which you guys, it's jeffisfunny.com, talks about his show, and you said you talk to comedians and actors, and then so what kind of what do you do with social media? I know you're on social media because we follow each other. What do? You give like social media tips or something, or what is the social media aspect of the show?
So, one of my day jobs is my entrepreneurial side is I've been in the digital world since late 90s. I run a web property called a Twitter property called #Roundup, which is a company as well called #Roundup and #Stampede. And we run hashtag games all day, every day on Twitter. And the majority of them trend top 10 in the United States. So since 2015, I would consider myself like an engagement expert in Twitter, at least, and very knowledgeable in social media. In 2017, when I was originally going to do my podcast, it was going to be called Viral Intentions. It was going to be all about social media and how to write to go viral and get the most reach out of your posts that you can. And I was just lazy and I didn't do it and I blew it off. And when the pandemic hit, I had extra time on my hand. I pulled everything out of the box, the boards and all the wires. And I realized, it's the pandemic. People are dying. I can't start a podcast called Viral Intentions. So I ended up just renaming it the Jeff Dwoskin Show. Went more kind of variety show-ish, just to kind of balance because I also hadn't done comedy. I'm a stand-up comedian, so I hadn't done, comedy was coming to a close and then, because of the pandemic and all those opportunities were gone. So this became my creative outlet. Did you do the hashtag games for Michael Damian's movie, the first one?
what was it called?
First of all, I don't know what the fuck you're all talking
Okay,
about.
well, hang on. Well, I
Wait,
know.
what's a hashtag?
He can't explain all that now. Everybody else will know what it is. What was it called? High Strung, because he used to do those, and he would always
the dance movie.
Yeah.
We did. I think a couple of them. Yeah, that was us. We did that. With
Yeah,
him.
I didn't know if that was you or not, but I know they did that because they always asked me to help like retweet it all when it was going on. Because he's a really good
absolutely.
friend of ours.
That was us. That was a long time ago.
Cool.
But
that's
cool.
a long time ago. Yes, but that's the only one I can like think of that I've actually participated in was his. So I think it's super fun and you gotta like enjoy it.
What's a hashtag?
A hashtag is the thing that looks like a number sign that you put on thing. He doesn't do social media except for Facebook, and you don't use hashtags on Facebook really.
Gotcha.
It's a hashtag. It's a thing that helps like get things noticed. I don't know how do you explain a hashtag?
In other words, if I want to highlight your name, that's a hashtag.
No.
In other words, if I want you to see what I just wrote.
No, that's a tag.
Oh, all right. Whatever.
There you go. That's a hashtag.
Okay. I've seen them, but I've never
look how good he
I've
did
never
that.
used them.
I love it. I think that's hilarious. Okay. So so you got this show because like I actually wrote down first of all I think this is as a comedian, but I wrote some notes down. You worked with some great comedians, Tim Allen, Kathleen Madigan, Lisa Lampanelli, Gilbert Godfrey, Kevin Pollack, and Jackie Martland. I know there's a bunch more, but those are the ones I know. So I figured if I know them, other people will know them.
Yeah,
because I don't know all the different comedians. So how often do you do stand up? I mean, I saw on your website you won all these like awards at all these different like comedy festivals.
I used to do it a lot. I mean, I used to do it in Michigan. We were fortunate when I started out doing comedy. There was a lot of clubs. Over the years, many have actually closed down, and there's not as many in the area that you can do comedy at. But I would like if I wasn't working a weekend, which was Thursday to Saturday, I'd be doing open mics usually 3, 4, 5 times a week, especially in the beginning. The more you start to work, you start to maybe do the open mics a little less because you're working all weekend. But yeah, so it was quite a grind. I mean, it's just like anything. You got to get your hours in. There's no.
Well, you would have loved it in my day because I did stand up for 46 years. I worked supper clubs. There were 1 million of them, and we had 250 to 300 diners in our show, and it was the most exciting. Then it started where there was nothing left anymore and only offering me gay bars, and I wouldn't work in gay bars. So I stopped doing stand-up. And today there's the Comedy Store. There's nothing to do stand-up in. We should bring back supper clubs. And it's a wonderful night out. A couple, you go out with a bunch of gang of friends and you get a little high and you laugh your ass off. I mean, we've really turned into shitty people. We used to be bad. We used to be better people 30, 40 years ago.
So wait,
we don't know how to have fun anymore. Nobody laughs.
I think that's true.
And in comedy, you can't do jokes. Years ago, I did jokes about people I knew. Tits and ass jokes. Today, you can't do that because they put you in prison.
Or they can't.
So really, you can't.
Like, actually, I have a question about that. So, like, because
wait a minute, I'm not finished. You interrupted me, Mary Pink Fairy.
Okay, go.
Did you know he loves pink? The sissy Mary I married. Oh, I can't.
But you're the one wearing the pink shirt and the pink watch.
Because I want to be a fairy like you.
Yeah.
No, seriously. How do you handle stand-up today? That's a question I want to ask him. We have to boycott so much of your stuff. Like, in other words, if you're doing a joke on Eileen Shapiro, you're not allowed to say she got huge tits, okay? Because people go, oh, my God, that's sexist. Well, she is a woman. She does have big tits. And, yeah, she is sexy. So why not do a joke about it? How would you handle that? What are you going to talk about?
That's the question.
She's got big eyes.
No, the question is like,
who gives a shit about her eyes?
How do you now you're doing stand-up, and because of the climate of the world, and being
question.
canceled.
Why
I know, but not about because you asked about Eileen Tits. I don't want him to. Who cares about that? I want him to.
No, but that was an illustration.
I know, so I want him to tell me in general, like, how do you work out your stand-up now that the climate has changed so drastically?
Well, I moved away from observational stuff, like the breast example you mentioned earlier, a while ago, and focus more on kind of just family-oriented stuff. Or if I have a joke, I would frame it in the sense of either me as a father or as a husband or a family. So it sort of became
boring.
Kind of a
so it's
structure.
About you, though. So then it's about you can do it about you, because if you make fun of you, you're not going to cancel yourself.
Right. I mean, it's my experiences through my lens. I don't think it's boring. I think, when you talk about something that anyone could talk about, it's very specifically, then you run the risk of other people doing the same jokes. I used to have a joke about a construction worker sign, funny joke, but sometimes people before me had seen the sign and would do a joke before me with the same joke.
Oh,
or not the same joke, but the same sign. So I'm not going to come out and do the same. Here's another one on that construction worker sign.
Jeff, if it's not risque, it's not dangerous or funny. When I worked in drag as Jane Russell, and I'd sing and do jokes. One of the jokes I did was, I will admit my breasts have sagged. This morning I cut my nipple shaving my ankle. Now that was a very dirty joke back 30, 40 years ago. Today it's stupid. But today you couldn't do that. Because it's something wrong with people. Women will not like it because you mentioned nipple. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But people have gotten puritanical. But it cracks me up. They'll do 10 lines of coke. They'll go out, they'll sit on a stool. The guy has his hand up her skirt. He's playing with her snatch. And then he says something about her tits. And she says, look up here. Don't stare down. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like it's weird. Guys don't know where to go anymore. That's why guys are jumping on guys nowadays.
Is that why we've seen an upsurge in that?
Yes. Have you started to? I mean, we're basically. I don't know how it is in Detroit and California. We've only been opened up for like a month. That you can actually, not even a month, like 3 weeks, I think, that you can actually like go out and
here, when you work, you have to watch your P's and Q's. So you would be so strapped tight that you probably wouldn't even be funny here, because what are you going to talk about? Like Farmer John jokes? I mean, I don't know, like my father jokes. What kind of jokes is about yourself and family? Oh, my mother this morning, the dishwasher overflowed. Ha ha ha.
Now, have you actually gone out? Have you actually gone out now since the world is open and done any stand up with the new climate?
It's interesting. Like when they started to open the clubs before everything was ready. There was that kind of a lull where they're like, oh, maybe we can reopen. But I wasn't ready yet. This was pre-vaccinations and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, no. And then sure enough, every one of those clubs closed 2 weeks later because everyone at the club got COVID.
That's sick. Yeah.
And so I haven't taken any gigs, and I think I missed a wave. You know what I mean? There's like the booking wave. And then I have this other thing too, where the podcast, as you're aware, takes up a lot of time. Yes. So,
sure it does.
People look at it, it's not just a matter of just getting on and, there's a lot of research and editing, all that kind of rigmarole. So when I said to my wife, oh, I might go back to do stand-up, she like gave me this look like, because I put so much time into the podcast. She's like, and now you're going to disappear in the weekends also? And
but they don't pay well. No. I used to get for a weekend, this is a Friday night show, 2 shows. I did an 8:00 dinner and an 11 drink. That was Friday and Saturday, and I got $200 a day. That was $400. That was top salary. That was star salary back in the 1960s. Today, what do you get? $100? The same thing?
If you work, it's scary that it hasn't really changed much. But if I work an entire weekend at a club in Michigan, one of the clubs in Michigan, a feature or MC, it's usually about the same. It's about $250 or $300, and that's for 5 shows.
So that hasn't changed at all. It's bullshit.
No, it hasn't changed since I've been doing comedy 19 years. It hasn't changed a penny. So,
well, I started doing that back in 61 or 62. And like I said, we had supper clubs. Everybody came dressed beautifully, mink stoles, men in suits. The stage was beautiful. There was always an orchestra handy if you needed it. And the supper clubs were Town and Country in Brooklyn, which was the most famous, and Cherry Hill, New Jersey, that club I worked. I worked all the very straight clubs, the big straight clubs. And we thought that was a lot of money, $400 for the weekend back then, because I paid $135 a month rent for a doorman apartment with a swimming pool. So I was rich with
You were
400
rich, okay.
with 400 a weekend. But
Live.
you today, you
Fucking
can't.
Dave Hughes is in the chat room saying he wouldn't get out of bed for that.
What?
No.
Dave Hughes says he wouldn't get out of bed for that.
Well,
Hi, Dave.
well,
Dave's in the UK.
Now,
Hey, Dave.
somebody
Hey, Dave.
somebody has said to me that I should go back to work. Even older, I could be funny. And I said, well, what are they offering? They said, oh, they give you 500 for the weekend. I said, I don't put eyelashes on for 500 for the weekend. Are they serious? $500 for the weekend? No.
I think it's funny. Well, I think it's cool, and I think it's cool the way you've created a show that people actually like because your show is actually good. Like we've probably
Well, you're nice. You're good.
we
you.
you know I know I don't know.
You in Manhattan. Manhattan is. I like him also.
Oh, the Scene Snobs. You know, Mick.
Yeah, I would go back. I would go
Oh,
on
and
there.
we have 3 podcasts we like. So
Yeah.
like you're always very supportive too in
Yeah.
social media, which I appreciate.
You're one.
And Mick Manhattan with the Scene Snobs, and then the other one we like is the
What's his name? If you invited
no the
us,
something podcast.
if you invited us back, we would come back.
No, what was it? Hang on. The Amazing Podcast or something. Freaking amazing, freaking awesome podcast. Those
Freaking
are
awesome.
the ones that we
Yeah.
like a lot.
But the rest,
good ones.
I've been on maybe 12 or 14, 15 of them, and no offense to them, but they stink. Oh no, I had the most horrible time. I mean, if I didn't carry their show, they just sat there like morons. They didn't say a word. And I thought to myself, you're the host. You're supposed to guide me through this. And they didn't. They don't know how to host.
They want to know if you're going to travel with your show in the chat room. I don't know what that means exactly. Travel maybe as a
travel
comedian.
means he goes all over, like different states.
I know,
Well,
but
right.
what
That's the reason I want to, when you're doing, I know you guys have been around forever, so you've built up this
No,
massive
he has.
following.
And I have.
But I realized it would have been it'd be great to still do stand up because then I could promote the podcast. Like that could just be a way to, make cards or whatever, get people to listen to the podcast.
No, what you do is you photograph the stand up as a podcast.
Right.
In other words, you should have on your show, like right now, make believe this is your show and we're on it. You should show us 3 or 4 minutes of your stand up. And this makes your show interesting, and it also is your commercial.
You want to get more viewers too? I'll tell you what I've been doing, which
variety in a show is what makes it happen.
Unfortunately, my Instagram got hacked 2 days ago, and I still can't get in it. So I got hacked, which really bums me out because we get a lot of plays on a show. But like, if you put your show on Instagram TV, you'll get a lot of views, and it can be up to an hour. You can't make it more than an hour. So like, I have to edit, what you want to go on there. But like, I think in like 3 months, we got 2 million plays on Instagram.
I put Crossing the Streams, the live show, like the one you were on. That's on Instagram TV, and I always end it purposefully. Starts at 9:30. I end it at 10:28 every time, so it's under 60 minutes. So I don't have to edit.
So I do the same. Well,
and another suggestion. In order to make your show a happy show, don't wear black all the time and get the hat off.
You're cute. People want to see you.
Wear something more wear colors, because we know that Jimmy and I are colorful on our show, and it makes the show happy and colorful. You look like you're going to go, to a movie. You got to look more theatrical because you are a showman. And you should look like a showman. You shouldn't look like Joe down the corner bar.
I tell you why I wear the hat, Ron. I wear the hat because I feel like my forehead's gotten so big that the light reflects off of it, and I don't like the way I look on camera.
You know what? There's a thing called base powder. You powder your head, you won't shine. A lot of Burt Reynolds used to do that when he was going bald. They used to put black powder on the back of his St. Anthony bald spot. But anyway, it's very important for you to look like something that your audience wants to be. A lot of people think, oh, I want to look like the gang. No, you're a star. You're not the gang. Your audience is the gang. And you have to have that position. And I told this to Jimmy all the time. We always dress nice in color. And people come.
Plus, you're like really good looking.
You are, and those fucking teeth. I mean, really now. So I would suggest. I'm not being critical. I'm just suggesting.
No, I love the constructive criticism. I appreciate it.
Give us a show more than just your mouth, okay? Give us something to look at, like my wristwatch thing. Everybody always wants it because we have 1 million wristwatches. So every week we make a point of my wristwatches. Be more of a variety. and less cut and dry. Because I like you and I know you could really have potential. Broaden yourself, broaden your show. Don't make it like the other ones. Don't keep it so tunnel vision narrow. Go big.
Actually, doing the social media thing is smart in a show. Nobody does that.
I think so, because I'd love to see you be like, well, not number one, because that's us, but I would love
a close number two. I'd be happy.
I would love you to be number two.
I'd love for you to be number two. I mean, I congratulate you. Say it's so wonderful you're number two. If ever you became number one,
they all love your teeth, though. Everybody in the chat room is commenting on your teeth.
I wish I had his teeth.
They're fabulous.
My teeth don't show. I have little lips, and when I smile, you never see my teeth. I look like a turtle. And I hate that.
So let's talk about your show a little bit. So first of all, I noticed, which I don't know, I've never had her on our show, but I would love to have her. Is Catherine Mary Stewart? Was she cool?
Oh yeah. I can introduce you. I want to say one thing about your Instagram real quick. So I saw you post that your Instagram had gotten hacked, and before you posted that on my Instagram, all of a sudden I got like 20 notifications. I look at it, Dr. Jimmy Star. So I'm thinking to myself, you got hacked. You either got hacked right after you liked up my timeline, or somebody hacked you and then went to my timeline.
We know who it is.
It
was a commie in Russia.
It's somebody in Russia.
No, it was
It happened on Monday morning at 6 a.m. I got hacked.
It was a communist in Russia who did it. We know. The communists are out.
But I didn't go down your page and like all those things, so they must have done it somehow.
Well, then, hey, the best thing that ever happened to me was you getting hacked.
Hopefully, I'm going to get it back. I can't tell people what I'm doing to get it back, but I think I'm going to get it back today. I'm hoping.
Well, I'll tell. We called the mafia, and they're sending an agent to Russia to shoot the son of a bitch that hacked them.
Literally, though, they sent me the ransom thing, and every day they keep saying, "How come you're not responding?" and all this stuff.
They want him to pay them thousands of dollars, and they will open up his Instagram. That's against the law, and the
extortion.
And the feds have been
contacted the FBI. I contacted everybody.
The feds have been notified, and a lot of luck we could do it because it's a communist in Russia, but.
But anybody gets any weird messages asking for money or anything on it, it's not my Instagram at the moment. Hopefully I'm going to get it back, but don't fucking give them anything. Because you know how I got hacked? I got like a message from an Instagram account that had the Instagram logo, and I looked at it and it had over 1 million followers on it. And it said, your account looks like a good candidate to be verified. So I thought it was like a real thing because, they had 1 million followers.
How could you fall for that
and so I clicked on the thing and just filled out the information. And somehow by me just filling out the information, they were like able to hack into it. So don't ever answer any of those messages. And now I'm not answering any messages from anybody I don't know.
What do you tell me all the time? All the time you say to me, do not, give any information out or click on anything.
I know, but it looked like it was from Instagram.
Pinky goes and clicks.
So I mentioned on my podcast, I do a social media tip. And it's just like a 2-minute thing, because the way I do tips I make you aware. It's more awareness, and then you can go Google it, right?
Okay.
So one of the tips I had recently, which is good for everyone in light of what happened to you, is that everyone should go set up their 2-factor authentication on all their platforms, Twitter, Instagram, everything. That way, anytime you log in or move from account to account, it's going to text you a code. And if you don't have the phone that belongs to that account, no one can break into your thing. So it's a real easy way to secure any one of your social media.
I have it on Twitter, but I thought I had it on Instagram, but I guess I don't because I didn't usually I get an email saying somebody logged into your account, but I didn't get the email.
All you people out there, do you understand what
they're talking? Of course they do.
Well, I know. Can we go back to simple English? Now
Sure.
listen to me. I don't do Twitter or that shit. So I never get hacked. I do Facebook. And when they read my page, they get so bored, they wouldn't even bother hacking me.
I have a very active Instagram, though. My Instagram, if you change the name on it, would make somebody could probably make somebody money because, I get paid to post stuff.
Well, get your Instagram. I'd like to know the commie that did it.
Anyway,
we have to watch. The commies are trying to destroy our country.
So that's
in every way they can. I'm serious. There's a big commie uprising right now where they want to ruin America, and they want to do it through the media. They want to do it through movies, and they want to do it through television. And that's their game. Little by little, you're going to start to see socialistic, communistic movies where they push it little by little. They tried pulling that shit in the 1950s, the commies. And then, of course, everybody went against them and we kicked them out of the business.
Anyway,
So that's my little
that's his thing
thing.
for the day. But I want to go back to the Jeff Dwoskin show. First of all, I want to know, is Catherine Mary Stewart cool? And then let's talk interviews and stuff. So who are some of your favorite? First, tell me how Catherine Mary Stewart
Must
was.
you shout?
And then after you tell me
Must
how
you
Catherine,
shout?
she's really good friends with who's the girl that we saw at the Kelly Maroney.
Kelly
Yes.
Maroney.
Have you had Kelly Maroney on your
I
show?
knew a girl.
I
named
have had
Maroney.
Kelly Maroney on my show, and Catherine Mary Stewart was awesome, really, really great. And what I liked about her, which I know you guys would appreciate, when she responded back to me, she had already listened to like a few episodes of my podcast, so I knew she really wanted. It wasn't like just a yell, "Come on!" Like she was like, "Oh, you talked to Ted Neely? He's one of my. That's my favorite movie. Jesus Christ Superstar." Blah blah blah. Yeah, and she was awesome. And it's fun to talk to, for me, people who are in movies that I really love.
She will never, never, never come on our show, because if she's going to watch 2 or 3 episodes, she's going to pull
Depends
the same.
on which one she pulls.
She's going to pull the same shit Raquel Welch did. Raquel Welch watched a few of our shows. You know what she sent, Jimmy? I will never, never, never be on your show.
Right. So, like some of the comments coming in, so Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney were sisters in Night of the Comet.
Yeah, Night of the Comet.
love
we
Kelly.
love Kelly. We were
Kelly
at the premiere with her the other
Maroney
night.
Boney Maroney. She's my dearest friend. I love her.
Kelly's very supportive. I was just
she's
on the
sweetest.
night. I got to tell you though, I'm really huge with Catherine Mary Stewart. I love Night of the Comet, but Last Starfighter was one of my favorite movies from the 80s growing up.
Yeah, it's a
and
good
so
movie.
so love talking to her. But I love Night of the Comet also. Those two fandoms, The Last Starfighter and Night
They're
of the Comet,
huge.
because you know
Huge.
I like posting I've talked to a bunch of people from Jaws and stuff. I'll post in the Jaws Facebooks and stuff. You get 2 likes. The Last Comet, Night of the Comet, and The Last Starfighter, I posted in both of them yesterday, and like tons of response, tons, like more than really great fans.
What's the guy from Last of the Starfighter? What's the main guy? Who
His
is
name's,
that?
Lance.
Yeah, Lance. Like I dressed him one time back when I was a clothing designer. Lance Guest, I think his
Lance
name
Guest,
is.
yes.
Yes, I dressed him one time.
How many have you undressed?
I didn't undress him. He's too young. So who are some of your favorite? I saw that you had Steve Bluestein on your show the other day. He lives down the street from us, not too
Steve
far.
is my friend. Steve the Depression, I call him. He's one of these Jews that lives in the world of depression. You know, he's always what's the word in Yiddish? I'm trying to think of it now. He's always whatever.
Verklempt?
Not that. He's always, there's a better word than that in Yiddish. I know.
He comes to our house when the world was open. He used to come to our house all the time for parties.
I always say to him, "So Steve, what miserable thing has happened to you now?" And he lights up. He said, "Well, you know, I went and cancer, and then my balls fell off, and my nose is bleeding." You know, he loves to whine and do that.
He has a new book out, Point of Pines, where he talks about his childhood and all that kind of stuff.
Which is a disaster. It's a train wreck. I mean, I read 2 of his books and I had to put them down. I got so depressed I wanted to take pills. No, really. I mean,
they're funny,
and
though.
I love him. He's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy. Yeah.
He's one of my dearest friends.
So who are some of the other people though that you've had on the show that you thought, oh my God, these were really good interviews? I know we had some of the Jaws guys on. You must have. Did you used to have a certain person with the initials SJ booking people for your show?
I won't acknowledge anything like that.
Okay,
but
that means yes. Okay, so because we've had some of those people too, and they were great guests. We had some great guests. The guy who wrote the Jaws screenplay or whatever, we got a great response with him.
Carl Gottlieb.
Yeah, Carl Gottlieb. We had a great show with him.
Yeah, he's a classic though. He wrote Jaws. I actually have his book autographed. I love getting 8x10s signed after I talk to people.
I do too.
I have a whole wall. You can't see it from where.
I have books of them. Put them in there. So
I'm only sorry. 50 years ago, I didn't ask my star friends for autographed pictures because you didn't do that back then. It made you look less than them or a fan, not a friend. So I mean, like Betty Davis. I do have a picture up here, Betty Davis, and she did sign it, but I phonied it because I said sign it to my family. And she wrote Ron Russell and family, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, back then you didn't say like Burt Reynolds. I don't even have a picture of Burt, and I knew Burt well. Why didn't we do that?
I don't know. You didn't have like. First of all, you couldn't do selfie. Like
No, selfies, we didn't have a
I
phone.
actually preferred. I preferred getting pictures with the people than the autograph pictures, even though I have a ton of both.
No, but how come your father knew Burt Reynolds?
Yeah.
He never got a picture.
I got an autograph picture of Burt Reynolds when I was little. I don't know what happened to
Oh,
it.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
So hey, go back. So who are some of the people? So you had Steve. Who are some of the bigger people that you've had, or just the people that you thought were great guests?
I think one of the more fascinating, if you love movie history, I think my episode with Joe Alves, my conversation with Joe Alves was fascinating. He was a production designer. He designed the shark for Jaws and all the visual elements for Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And the interview was sort of like this oral history of the making of Jaws and Close Encounters. I found that one extremely fascinating. I think one of my big wins, which I was surprised I was able to even get, was Al Jean he's the executive producer, showrunner of The Simpsons for the last 22 years. But the way I think
Al G.
We had the lady who does all like half the voices on The Simpsons. I forgot her name.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Al Jean and I happen to be born. We grew up in the same exact city, Farmington Hills, Michigan. And I used to go to his father's hardware store. So I kind of pitched that as a connection.
Oh, way to get in.
Yeah. So, but he was really cool though. I mean, he was a really great guy. I mean, Ted Lange from the Love Boat, Isaac from the Love Boat. That was a funny one. Yeah, fun one. You know, Ed Asner was pretty cool.
Chris Walken came from my neighborhood, and I used to get my birthday cakes from his aunt's bakery. It was called Walken's Bakery. And I knew Chris. I met him on the BMT subway at night, 3 a.m, when we were coming back from New York. And he was weird. Even when he was 21 and 22 years old, he was a strange bird. He's still weird.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But really very nice. I mean, he's a very timid, soft man, but weird.
So wait,
I like.
So
Chris
let's do bucket list then. So because like everybody's got a bucket list. Like, so who are 3 people that you think, oh my God, these are the people I really want to like interview? For me, like I want Charlize Theron, Molly Ringwald, and I don't know who the other one would be, but
I want Sophia Loren.
I would love to talk to Steve Martin, Steven Spielberg, and then Lawrence Kasdan. And here, Lawrence Kasdan was the director of like The Big Chill. He wrote.
Yes.
Do you know who Sophia Loren is?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank God. One.
So my disappointment was that Lawrence Kasdan, who's from Michigan, in The Big Chill, which takes place, it's U of M fans and all that kind of stuff. A few years ago, a friend, someone who used to live in my sub, was outside my house. Our daughters were friends. He comes over and he says, Jeff, Lawrence Kasdan used to go to your house. I mean, before it was mine, obviously. He used to go he used to be in your house, and he would sleep there. And two of the 2 people that lived there were 2 of the people he based the characters in The Big Chill on. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. So when I reached out to Lawrence Kasdan, his people, and I asked, I kind of threw that in there in the letter. They said he was busy, and they kind of blew it off. But I'm like dying. He's on my bucket list. So I'm dying to find out if that's true.
You know what though? You just got to keep going. So like when I first started the show, I always wanted Clifton Collins Jr. on because I'm like always been a big fan, and I love a lot of the movies that he's in. And I probably asked him every 6 months for like 5 years to come on the show. And then finally, like it's like he paid attention to it, or I don't know what, or maybe we got bigger and he saw who we had on the show, and he said, sure, I'd love to come on and do it. He came on and he was a fabulous guest, and we had a great time. So my whole thing is never give up with it, because as you grow, eventually they come to you, because we have all kinds of people come back to us.
I'm sorry that we didn't have this show 30 years ago, because Betty Davis was a good friend of mine, and Betty Davis would have come on our show, which would have made our ratings go up through the roof. Also, Burt Reynolds would have come on, and who else? I knew all the legends of Hollywood. I grew up with them. They're older than I, but I knew them as a kid. Jane Russell, I interviewed. She would have come on our show. So our show would have really been star-packed. I don't know any of the young ones. I don't know Shelley.
He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know. Oh, he know who they are.
I know who they are. I don't know them personally because I'm too old. I could see when I was young, I hung out with them because they were my contemporaries. But now I'm 81 years old. What am I going to hang out with Charlize? She's like 12 years old. You know what I mean?
I love Charlize
I'm like their
Theron.
grandfather. So even the kids that I work with in the movies I'm in, they love me. They treat me like Grandpa Moses. But anyway.
I think that's funny though. What about musical guests? If you were going to have any musical person to come on, who would you like?
It's fine. I've only had one on. His name is Mark Farner. He was one of the original lead singer, writer with Grand Funk Railroad. Word on
there you go. Yes.
And that was fun because he was actually on someone else's show, and they're like, because my show is live from Detroit, they're like, "Hey, do you want to talk to this guy?" I'm like, "No." And so I'm like, "All right, cool." So that was nice. So he was cool. But I haven't had many musicians on, or I don't even have any like in the pipeline. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't. Billy Joel though. Billy Joel would be the one I'd want to talk to, or Elton John.
I love Elton John.
Billy Joel, from Long Island, and everybody that knew him on Long Island said he was a regular guy. So I don't think he's a superstar in his head. You probably could call him, and I think he would come on. Billy Joel is supposed to be very down to earth.
As a clothing designer, I dressed Elton John once. It was like the highlight of my whole life, practically, because he's my favorite singer.
Elton's the best. But Elton and Billy Joel are probably the ones I've seen the most in concert. Yeah.
Well, as a nobody, I dusted off the shoulder of Rock Hudson's when we were working. So there you go.
Oh, they want to know also, because we got 4 minutes left in the chat room. They want to know, since you do a show where you talk about favorite TV shows, what are some of your favorite TV shows?
Oh, great question. So right now, I think the show that you have to make sure you've seen is Ted Lasso. That's, I think, one of the best shows that's
And where is it on? Where is it on?
That is on Apple TV.
Okay.
If you're going to then invest in Apple TV, watch The Morning Show, the first season of The Morning Show. On Netflix, I really like Atypical, and we just started watching the 4th season, just got released. So that's really good as well. Never Have I Ever, which is Mindy Kaling's show, is a great one that you probably it's about younger kids, like they're in like middle school, and originally wasn't going to watch it, and friends of ours said, "Oh, you got to watch it." And it was really, really, really good, very deep, very emotional. And those are some, like, maybe except for Ted Lasso, which is, I think, huge in culture.
Did you ever watch Sex Life?
No,
did you watch Sex Life yet?
Meanwhile, series 3, the guy is in the shower naked.
No, episode 3.
He's got a wang down to his knee. Now, the controversy is, we read it's a prosthetic, and some people said, no, it's not. It's really him. Anyway.
We only watched the first 3 episodes.
I've never seen anything in my life.
All it is like people having sex fucking 24 hours a day.
Let me talk about his wang. His wang is so big, I've never seen one like it in my life, and I've seen a lot of.
It was bigger than Mark Wahlberg in
huge.
in Boogie Nights.
It has to be a prosthetic. Now watch, thousands of people that watch our show, they're going to watch Sex Life. It's episode 3.
And in the chat room, they're saying they watch Atypical too. A lot of people.
I mean,
a great show. I love it.
What?
I have to watch Cruella. You guys
loved it. Fantasy. Total sheer.
You know what
fantasy.
show we liked a lot too, but we're older though. I forgot the name of it. It's on HBO.
Michael Douglas's show is great.
The Kaminsky Method is amazing.
The Kaminsky Method is amazing. But then on HBO Max they have the one with the lady who's the comedian in
Hacks
in Las Vegas. Hacks. I loved Hacks.
Hacks was great with Jean Smart.
I'd like to get Jean Smart on our show.
She's wonderful. I love Jean Smart.
She was great in Watchmen on HBO.
Yeah,
she's great. Yes. I've seen her for years. I've seen her when she was young.
Ron thought she should be replacing Kim Cattrall for the
Sex and the City movie because she looks just like Kim Cattrall. Kim Cattrall now is like 60 and she looks like Jean, and they could easily replace it and people would almost not know the difference. But I don't know that she would want to do it because she's too important of an actress to step into somebody.
We only have 1 minute. Jeff, tell everybody where they find all your shit.
Go to jeffisfunny.com. You can find everything there. There's a link. You can listen to all my podcast episodes there. There's links to all the podcast apps. There's links to the live show, Crossing the Streams there. You can watch it and then jump to YouTube. It's all there. JeffIsFunny.com.
And there's Twitter. What's Big Macher? What Macher? How do you pronounce it?
Macher. It was an old nickname. It's Yiddish. Macher means big shot.
Okay.
You're Jewish?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so follow him on that Big Shot. Follow him on that Big Shot on Twitter.
You're Mashbuka now.
Or Jeff Dwoskin Show. You guys, his Instagram is Jeff Dwoskin Show because we're out of time, everybody. So follow his shows, watch his shows, live from Detroit, the Jeff Dwoskin Show. He's got Crossing the Streams. He's a cool guy. Follow him in on his social media. And we want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing with us. And that's about it, everybody. So thank you so much, Jeff Dwoskin, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
And brush your teeth a couple of times a day, so when you're my age, you'll still have them. Take care, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. We want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us. We had a great time. Hope you guys did too. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Next week, and I will be shaving.
Hi, Goddess. Hi, Goddess. Goddess is in there. Bye.
Goddess, how are you, honey?
Jimmy, this is Emmy on screen. I'm just chilling, Jimmy Star, yo, sitting down and designing. Where every man in the thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself, the known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your one I wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.